Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the LA Sevens. This one, Samoa taking on the Portuguese. In terms of the starting lineups for Samoa, it is Fa'afoi Falaniko, Valvasa Afasua, Motu Opitai, Savainea, Tila Mialoi, also Eliza Pita, I should say, Alofipo, and Owen Nue as the starting lineup there. For the Portuguese, they have got Vasco Silva, Marias, Valentin Couto, Fati, also Martem Diaz, and Concicao, whose name I think I mispronounced quite badly, but hopefully, it's the captain as well. He's probably a player we should get right, but it was quite interesting listening to that post-match interview with Steve Thomasine. You could see the distraught on the face. Like, at the end of the day, the USA have automatically qualified for Division 2 for finishing at the top of the bunch. But some of the comments that he made said pretty much they're not playing for too much in this weekend, only to avoid disaster. Now, that is exactly how some people would word this new system that Sevens are trying to bring in. An absolute disaster. Hopefully it works, because if it doesn't, they're going to pretty much kill off the game as we know it. But Samoa in position here. Portugal kicking off from right to left. The Samoans, they cannot finish first in their group, but they can finish in second, and that would give them a nice little position in the overall standings to be able to go maybe through to Division 2. It's a different system. For a side like the USA, if they had played like they did just then in the original tournament that was going to be taking place today in LA and yesterday, they would have made it back to the World Sevens circuit. One of these two sides also would have had a great chance of being able to do so too, but that is going to be a big tackle coming in on Samoa. They're only 10 metres out from their current line. They need to work this one forward and actually opting to go for the kick in behind here, but winning the foot race, it will be Portugal, and the penalty goes the way of Silva. Wasn't quite on the mark, so they have to go back again. And never know, Portuguese, maybe shoot us Nando's chickens if we win. Says a Blues name, and 12 points to 7 for Samoa is Xander's prediction. And we have got there clicked on Portugal to win, probably be wrong. Says Bruce, although Portugal have had a couple decent performances so far throughout this LA Sevens, it's also a new day, and sometimes that new day can bring some pretty surprise results. And ready to throw this one in, it will be Diaz of Portugal. We've got a couple more games just around the corner that we will be covering on the channel. The next ones are actually the semi-finals for the men's and the women's. And where you're watching this live, says Robert T. Here in New Zealand, it's on Sky Sport. But there are options of being able to watch, I believe, on Rugby Pass TV. Some locations around the world. I will quickly mention that. Other locations, if you have got an official broadcaster, they don't let you watch through Rugby Pass TV. So if you've got a VPN, you can set yourself to a certain location to be able to watch it type thing. But yeah, they've made it difficult to find the second field by the sounds of it around the world. It's on Sky Sport 9, whereas the original Sevens is on Sky Sport 3 for us here in New Zealand. Scrum has gone the way of Portugal, and they will now drive forward. Diaz doesn't get the offload away now, gives it to Couto, who had Fati on the outside, but doesn't go to him. Instead, offloading back to the right, quick hands. Samoa control the ball. That looked like it was almost accidental offside from Opitai. But Samoa back in position again. Portugal making it hard to gain metres here, not missing tackles, which is making it difficult for Samoa. Alofipo offloading it back across. Now, big run from Valvasa Afasua, and the penalty goes the way of Samoa. Another quick tap taken by this Samoan side, Savainea. On back across now, right-hand side, little grubber attempted. He's just going to give the possession straight back to the Portuguese, and now they will be able to have another attacking chance. Diaz passes it across. They are losing metres flat out, Portugal. It just seems to be both sides are actually really struggling to get any sort of forward momentum, although now Portugal, after the kick in behind and a favourable bounce, move up to 22 metres out. Fati gets the pass, one more on the outside, and it will be the try now for Vasco Silva, who tried to get a few extra metres in the process as well. The Portuguese fans loving that one, and it is a good start to the match. Anyone else here that doesn't follow the women's sevens? Says Bruce. Is there any reason behind it? It's actually quite hard to not like follow a little bit of it though, because of how overlapping the like games are. Like the semi-finals for the women's are taking place, boom, boom, and then it's the men's straight afterwards. So you're going to catch some of the women's game anyway, just trying to watch the men's. And other than against Portugal, but got to support Samoa here for old time's sake. Says Fleshins. We have got their Are Your Best Friend Days Over. And now you have the standard of their 20s friends in general. Are Your Best Friends Days Over, and now you have the standard of their friends in general. I mean, we've just got the group of 4 of us, pretty much. It's nice and easy to remember. Now going off to the left-hand side, big bump off from Samoa. It's gone backwards, so it will be play on, although they are once again just out from their own line with Fa'afoi Falaniko trying to find his way through. Portugal defending well so far in this match, but the gap might open up now for Alofipo after he puts in the big fend. Samoa shifting to the left now, the chip in behind, attempted again. That's the 3rd time that they've tried it in this game. Grubbing forward, this could be a great chance. He's getting tackled without the ball there for the Samoan player. There will be the penalty, a yellow card coming for Portugal as well. In this case, it is Fati who looks confused. But yeah, he was the whole way through getting ready to tackle the Samoan player before he had regathered. I got Spain to win the men's, and New Zealand will win the women's. Says Robert T in there, and vamos Portugal. Says Lilia B 5 metres out from the line. Samoa, that was a risky play from Valvasa. Saw another penalty, this time going against Vasco Silva for not rolling away. And still 5 metres from the line. Owen Nue passes it across. Samoa go in this time and score the try. And that will now potentially give them the lead. I like girly girls prefer the feminine ones. Do the slightly sportier ones scare you, Bruce? But now this one's going to go over. And that is going to make the score 7 points to 5 in favour of the Samoans, and that is Mia Foy, who was able to get himself the try. Now, we're just about into the second half, although first of all, we've got another minute remaining of this one. Samoa getting ready to kick this one off, using up as many seconds on the clock as they possibly can. Now, kicking it off high, chasing very early was one of the Samoan players, managing to slap it back, and Mia Foy with some nice quick hands. Samoa again on the counter-attack. Nue trying to go through, finds the offload, spit loose. Samoa now regather it and look to fire it out wide again. And no, don't scare me, says Bruce. Well, that's a good thing then, because, you know, girls are allowed to exercise too. Now, nice run forward from Valvasa Afasua, and does score the try. Also, one of the Portuguese players really smacked into the post, aren't they? Wear casual shorts, says Lily B. Yeah, we've learned that's a big no-no in Bruce's world. It's all cowboys wearing their jeans. Nice pass there to Valvasa Afasua, and just charged up. Not quite able to get the ankle tap for Diaz. Right, there will be enough time for a kickoff, they have just said. Samoa, they were just getting confirmation with the referee. Straight out in front of the post. The kick does go over for the Samoans, sitting 14 points to 5. Still with the kickoff to come. Or do we? Looks like, yep, still time for one more. Hamish, please tell Lilia B off. Why do I have to tell her off? Now, left-hand side. I'm not very good at telling people off. I end up smiling too much, and then they don't take it seriously. But now it kicked off, sitting about 15 metres away from the 22-metre line. Portugal are down by 9 at the moment, so I don't think they will want to put this ball into touch. But the risky part is, that pass right there was risky, and they could have easily conceded right at the end of this first half, but they go into touch. I'm not sure why Fa'afoi Falaniko is trying to rip that ball away. It's half time. Okay, Fa'afoi Falaniko getting lost in translation there by the looks of it. He was saying to the referee, but I was ready to take the quick throw. I only date women who can bench press me, Says return, and who's what channel you're watching this one on. So it is Sky Sport 9 here in New Zealand. It's a little bit confusing because some of the other games have been on different Sky channels. I was wonderful. What a couple of hours can do. Or yesterday I was wonderful. What a couple of hours can do, says Lilia B there. But yeah, Sky Sport 9 in New Zealand, or Rugby Pass TV is another option depending on where you are in the world. If you have got to sign up or already got an account, which is free, which is probably the best bet depending on where you are. Japanese women's 19 and French women's 10, 4 minutes left. Did France end up winning that Australia matchup, Nate? So whoever won that one would have got themselves the 5th place position. Great Britain finished 7th. Fiji finished in 8th. And thank you, Uso. Says rectum. So hopefully victim, I should say, not rectum. So yeah, hopefully it does work. And 26-0. Oh, yeah, brutal game for the Aussies in that case. For a side that only very narrowly missed out on the semi-finals. Just shows that Sevens can be extremely unpredictable in that regard. Second half of this contest will not be a mile away. Currently, Samoa have got the lead by 9. Now, I don't think there is a way, no matter how many points they score in this game, for them to end up in first place, but they can finish in second if they just get themselves the victory here, which I think helps them towards the next playoff games. Still a little bit confusing about who's actually getting promoted to Division 2 and who's missing out. They are just showing the table. So I can't even remember how many teams are supposed to be in Division 2. I would just think it would be easier to have the top 3 sides from each group go through to Division 2. But then you need 8 teams. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, honestly, the easier way of doing it is have them all play each other in this competition anyway. But then just say the 8 teams who are there now are in Division 2. Once again, that's much easier than saying people have to play off for their spots again, even though they're already playing off for them in the first place. Another penalty goes the way of Portugal. If Sevens is unpredictable, surely 3 divisions does make sense. Yes, correct. But I don't know how all of the fancy people in their suits and their big boss tables didn't think of that. Like, no one wants to watch the same teams play each and every week, over and over and over again, when there's potential to see lower ranked sides play them and cause upsets. Like, yes, every once in a while you have a one-sided game, but I'd love to see Portugal take on Fiji, or, maybe Samoa back on the main circuit taking on Argentina. Those 2 sides have had some great battles in the past, but now we have to wait another year for that to become a possibility, or it might be allowed in some of the fancy World Series extra legs that they're going to be doing. It's all very confusing. Portugal, meanwhile, are just attacking and moving up to the 22. That one has been knocked on. We have Gadeo wanted to introduce y'all to a new razor I bought. Smoothest shave I've ever had. Then I discovered it still had the plastic shield on. Says Bruce. Is that your news from earlier on, Bruce? Maybe. I'm starting to think that only World Rugby I know how this all works. Pretty much. But hopefully it makes... Well, next year... We'll just look at the schedule and we'll cover the games. That's pretty much what I do. But in terms of whether or not people will still be as interested in Sevens due to all these changes is a bit of a wait and see. See, the likes of Samoa, they've played well enough over this weekend to be back on the main circuit. And they would have probably been. But then they went and changed the system. Now, ready to feed this ball into the scrum. Samoa sitting 22 metres out from their line. I think 4 going up, says FBI. Yeah, by the sounds of it, 4. But then I think that's the 4 who get to play in the World Series part of it. Maybe. I think that's what these teams are all playing for. The chance to play on that. But then they're all in Division 2 anyway, maybe, I think. That's going to be a good run forward for Samoa. Well defended by Portugal. Joining into the breakdown was Owen Nue. Nice skip pass. Fasua sells the dummy. The Samoan veteran slams it down. And doing it very well. Miradol is really amazing. Will you try it? Your breath will still be fresh in the morning. Says return. Miradol. I've never heard of the stuff. I don't believe. And Hamish, do more Sevens games. Getting Bruce holding a bunch of roses for ladies' guests. I'm starting to think, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And the Women's Sevens. Says the Blues, Nate. But yeah, great finish from Vavasa Apasu, and that should almost give Samoa enough of a lead here to be able to go on and win this game. Now, I do see that there's an injury. I'm trying to work out what number that is. It looks like a 5 on the back. So it might be, is that Motuopitai? No, it's actually Vaili. He's only just made his way onto the field. I'm not too sure what's happened to him, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue in this match. And like I said, I thought he only just made his way on. And just showing the pool games that are still to come. We are going to get to see Germany versus Canada in 4 minutes' time, and then Ireland versus Uruguay. That is in 26 minutes' time, and that will tell us who's playing who in the next playoff games of the Sevens. Now, it will be a bit hectic, but we'll be trying our best to be able to schedule those streams once we do know what's happening. Don't like roses last time I held them. I felt a prick, says Bruce. We have got there, well done, Japan. Says Blues Nate in there as well. But yeah, limping off for Johnny Viley. He's going to be helped from the field. 4 minutes 20 remaining. That's a nice touch there from one of the Portuguese players coming over to actually help him off the field as well. Let's get the round of applause as he does make his way from the field. Referee just looking at him, waiting. It doesn't look too good for Availi. But yeah, Koto was also getting taken off the field at the same time, so helps him to the sideline. And now, Mialoi. Now going to be just kicking at the 10 metres and nicely taken near the touchline and knocked on by Motu Opitai. Now it's going to be the scrum feed for the Portuguese. Is Sevens Rugby in financial difficulty? Maybe that's why they want so many changes. I think they've said for the long run of Sevens, it's going to be more financially stable. But I just, the more that they're doing, the more they're sending regular viewers away. And I feel like surely that's not financially stable, to lose your people who are normally watching the Sevens. Like, the stands have been nowhere near as full this year as they have been in the past. And I think that is also down to the way that they've changed the system that many times that people aren't following it as much. The likes of Samoa, they used to bring a crowd certain locations when they went there, but they weren't on the circuit this year to be able to do so. Canada, they have a Vancouver Sevens league, yet we don't even see Canada playing in the main circuit for that league at the moment. Must USA set their own success? Because World Rugby cut down to 8. Says FBI. And now that's going to be the ball on the outside. Chance here down the wing for Portugal. And just gets wrestled down next to the touchline for Coots. I have only half my teeth left if I didn't use Miradol. Says return. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Chance here. Surely this will be a try for Portugal as they try and cut back inwards. But another great tackle made by Samoa. Hot pass up, running up the middle, and they will finish it off with Santos. And that will now be their second try of the match. Money tight sign of the times. Says Bruce. And there as well. But great finish from Santos. Just manages to break straight through the 2 tackle attempts of these Samoans. And I think there was a little bit of friendly fire there too. I think a Samoan boot connected with a Samoan head. The kick has gone over, and that is going to make the score 12 points to 21 within the last 2 minutes. They will still need to score 2 tries here, Portugal, if they do want to win. Johnny Viley looks like now they are moving him back to the bench. Now kicking this one high for the Portuguese. Nicely taken by Owen Nue. Gets his offload away to Valvasa Afasua. Now slapping it across. There was a bit of a shot to the spine. Now passing across Almeida. As a France are lost, absolutely shocking that, says Stephen Pope. As if France lost? Which game are we talking? For the Sevens women, I assume that would have to be, wouldn't it? Because I think the men ended up beating Australia 28-0. Or somewhere around there. 26-0 it might have been. 90 seconds left, and once again, it is going to be another scrum. The more time that we have in scrums, the less time of open play, which does benefit Samoa, as they would need to concede twice, like I said, to lose. Sevens woman, says Stephen. But once again, every once in a while you get the upset. And sadly, with the new format, we don't get to see the chances of such big upsets taking place. I actually thought Portugal would do better in this game, says Bruce. Well, I don't think they've done terribly. It's just more so Samoa had that strong first half where Portugal couldn't really get too much of the ball and they weren't really taking the risks of going for a steal. Also, another handling error does not help for the Portuguese. Samoa now within their 22 with only 40 seconds now left. Going to go for another kick and behind. Actually, a tactic that I've used multiple times throughout this contest. Bit of shoulder to shoulder. Nicely done by Santos to be able to make sure that Motu Opitai couldn't get to the possession. Big shot from Valvasa Pasua. It looks like he might have rattled his own cage from doing so. And yeah, he does not look too flash. Valvasa Pasua, he's got his head in his hands. As if maybe he might have taken a bit of a head knock in the process. And he's putting the ice pack up to his temple, so that makes it a little bit more concerning. We'll see the replay here. What limb is it? Oh, I think it was just in the tackle attempt here. He just ends up kind of eating the elbow and the forearm of Coots. All right, quick tap now to take care for Samoa. Okay, Samoa. I think Mia Lloyd just given the referee a bit of a talking to about how the rules work. He pretty much said once the referee blows the whistle, he's got multiple seconds to be able to make the decision. And nothing that he said there is wrong. So he waited about 5 seconds. The ref said, come on. And he said, okay, we'll take the scrum then. I actually thought Portugal would do better in this game. It was from Bruce as well. But for the Portuguese, they will lose this game by 9. Samoa, there is the full-time siren. They will root this ball into touch. And that is going to be the end of the game. 2 wins from 3 for Samoa in their group stage. 21 points to the 12. But that is going to conclude this matchup. We will get to see, I believe, the Samoans in action a little bit later on today. So we will keep you informed about those ones when they are announced. For the next games that we have got on the channel, it will be the semi-finals taking place at, I believe, about 7:45 is the next contest that we are covering. In fact, 7:40. So only 20 minutes away from Australia versus the Canadians. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.